Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. I'm Utsaf Parekh and I'll take you through today's top 50 stories. Let's begin with the big story of the day. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been indicted for unlawfully selling state gifts during his term from 2018 to 2022. He was arrested in a separate case. The country's anti-corruption watchdog has sought a 14-day physical remand of Imran Khan. This comes as he was produced before a special court. Meanwhile, his party has filed a petition in Pakistan's Supreme Court. This is to challenge the Islamabad High Court's verdict against Khan in the corruption case. Violent protests against Imran Khan's arrest continue across Pakistan. Nearly 1,000 people have been arrested in Pakistan's Punjab. More than 100 police officers have been injured. Private schools across the country have been closed. Pakistan's government has accused Imran Khan and his party of planning the attacks on government buildings. The Pakistan Telecommunication Authority has suspended mobile broadband across the country. Some regions are facing a total internet shutdown. The mobile broadband services have reportedly been suspended at the behest of Pakistan's Ministry of Interior. India is keeping a close watch on the latest developments in Pakistan. The Indian Army is maintaining a strong vigil along the border. Meanwhile, the United States, United Kingdom and Canada have issued new travel advisories for their citizens. The US has announced a travel alert for Americans in Pakistan. The UK has urged its citizens in the country to avoid large gatherings. Canada has urged diplomatic staff to exercise a high degree of caution. The Indian state of Karnataka has concluded voting. Initial predictions show a neck-and-neck contest between the two major parties, the BJP and the Congress. Over 65% of voter turnout was recorded in the state as of 5 p.m. Shifting focus to the war in Ukraine, the chief of Russia's Wagner mercenary group has said that he was told to either keep his troops in Bakhmut or be branded a traitor. He added that the problem of the lack of ammunition is being solved. However, the shipment has been slashed. Wagner's chief says that Russia has given only 10% of the ammunition that was asked for. He says that the troops feel deceived. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the United States will provide a new defense package. This package will be worth over $1 billion. This will include artillery and equipment for defense against missiles and drones. Earlier, the US said that the new package will include funds for training. In the 2023 fiscal year, the US Department of Defense has provided $5 billion in security assistance to Ukraine so far. The military object found in a Polish forest in April is a Russian Ch-55 missile. This is according to the Polish private media. It was found in an area hundreds of kilometers from Poland's borders with Ukraine, Belarus and Kaliningrad. Poland has been on alert over the possible spillover of weaponry from the war. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has given public workers a 45% pay rise. This comes as Turkey gears up for elections. Erdogan said that the government will continue to work on raising minimum wage for civil servants. The upcoming election is being seen as the toughest political test for Erdogan. He has been facing criticism for the economic crisis in the country. He has also faced flack over the government's slow response to the devastating earthquakes that rocked Turkey in February. In the US, jurors have concluded that former President Donald Trump sexually abused journalist E. Jean Carroll in 1996. They also say Trump defamed her by calling her a liar. The 9-member jury in Manhattan awarded Carroll $5 million in compensation. The jury deliberated for 3 hours before rejecting Trump's denial that he assaulted Carroll. Authorities in the U.S. state of Texas have said that the gunman who killed 8 people at a Dallas mall followed a neo-Nazi ideology. However, he appeared to have singled out his victims randomly without considering their race, age or sex. The victims included 3 children. The gunman had opened fire with an AR-15 style rifle. The police eventually shot the gunman dead. Migrants continue to make their way to the US-Mexico border. This comes as America's anti-COVID policy, which prevented asylum applications, is coming to an end after 3 years. The policy is known as Title 42 and will expire on Thursday. Migrants have been living in makeshift plastic tents at the border as they wait to cross into the United States. In Kenya, more bodies have been discovered in the starvation cult case. The country's interior minister has described them as victims of a highly organized crime. Meanwhile, the cult leader, Paul Mackenzie, remains in police custody. He's been accused of ordering his followers to starve so they go to heaven before the world ends. He told his followers that the world would end on April 15th. Indonesian President Joko Widodo has said that the ASEAN can be a central player in bringing regional peace if there is unity among the members. Over the next 2 days, ASEAN leaders will hold discussions on issues of common concern. The ongoing political tensions in Myanmar will dominate the discussions. ASEAN has been pushing the ruling junta to implement a 5-point peace consensus. Myanmar's generals have been barred from attending high-level ASEAN meetings until progress has been made in the country. Sri Lanka's Supreme Court has cleared the path for decriminalizing homosexuality. The court has said that a bill seeking to decriminalize homosexuality is not inconsistent with the Constitution. This has paved the way for a parliamentary debate and vote on the issue. The United Arab Emirates has said that countries should agree to phase out fossil fuel emissions, but not the production of oil, gas and coal. This is for the upcoming United Nations climate change negotiations, which will be held in December. The UAE Minister of Climate Change and Environment favored phasing out fossil fuel emissions using capture and storage technologies. She also called for ramping up renewable energy. South and South Asian countries are facing heat waves. In Thailand's Bangkok, the highest temperature reached 41 degrees Celsius. Bangladesh's Dhaka faced the highest temperature since the 1960s. Vietnam registered 44.1 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature on record. Climate change is likely to worsen the frequency, intensity, and impacts of extreme weather events. Scientists have discovered microbes that can digest plastic at low temperatures. These microbes have been discovered in the Alps and the Arctic. It has been seen as a valuable tool for recycling. Microorganisms that could digest plastic at temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius had already been found. Using them is not considered carbon neutral. However, the latest study has found microbes that can do the same at 15 degrees Celsius. Satellite data has revealed that methane leaks from Turkmenistan's 2 fossil fuel fields caused more global heating last year than the entire carbon emissions of the UK. Methane emissions have increased at an alarming rate since 2007. Researchers say that the latest leak seriously risks triggering catastrophic climate tipping points. At least 21 people have been killed due to wildfires in Russia's Ural Mountains. Medical officers warn that the tally is likely to increase. Hundreds of houses have been destroyed. Evacuation operations are underway. Russia's forests have been facing wildfires for a long time now. However, their intensity has grown in recent years. Bank of America has opened a new branch in Luxembourg. With its new branch, the US lender will seek to expand its footprint in Europe. Its customers will reportedly include large companies, investment funds, and other non-bank financial firms. The bank has hired Benoit Newawe as the manager of the newly created branch. Newawe was a former BNP Paribas banker. India is planning to reopen the application process for availing incentives for chip manufacturing. It's offering $10 billion in incentives and assistance. India has decided to keep the process open-ended this time. The country is doing away with its previous 45-day requirement to submit applications. India will continue to accept applications until it exhausts its $10 billion budget. Uber Technologies has launched international and domestic flight booking on its UK app. The move will expand the firm's core ride booking business. It has partnered with a travel booking company called Hopper to sell flight tickets. Uber has said that it will take a commission for each sale. American automaker General Motors has hired Mike Abbott to lead its software unit. Abbott used to formerly work at Apple. He led a team responsible for the infrastructural development of Apple's cloud services. Abbott will take over the role from May 22nd. GM's move comes as automakers have been ramping up their tech investments amid a push for electric vehicles. American media conglomerate Paramount Global will reportedly cut 25% of its workforce. The job cuts will impact its subsidiaries Showtime, MTV Entertainment Studios, and Paramount Media Networks. As a result of the move, MTV's news unit will also be shut down. The company has blamed its move on weak economic conditions. The company's announcement comes after it reported dour first-quarter earnings last week. Meanwhile, American biotech company Novavax is also laying off 25% of its workforce. The company has said that the move will help reduce costs. Its cost reduction plan also includes measures to merge its several facilities and infrastructure. This will reportedly cut the company's costs by 40 to 50%. This decision comes despite the company showing better than expected revenues for 2023. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has lashed out at Facebook's parent company Meta. He has said that Meta's opposition to Canada's proposed legislation on internet news providers was based on a flawed argument. Earlier, Meta had opposed a draft legislation by Canada. The legislation would compel internet companies like Meta to pay news providers for accessing their content. While opposing the bill, Meta argued that news has a social value, but not an economic value. Vietnam will make it mandatory for social media users to verify their identity. This will apply to individuals as well as organizational users of both local and foreign social media firms. Vietnam says this will help the country control online scams. It says that law enforcement agencies will be able to track down offenders using social media. However, reports suggest that not all social media platforms offer identity verification in Vietnam. Doctors and public health experts are warning about the health risks posed by artificial intelligence. In an article in a health journal, it was warned that potential errors by AI could severely harm patients. One such example was an inaccurate diagnosis by an AI-driven pulse oximeter. The oximeter overestimated blood oxygen levels in patients with darker skin. This resulted in the under-treatment of their condition. American fast food chain Wendys will begin testing an AI-powered chatbot. It'll talk to customers and take drive-through orders. The tests will begin next month. It's debuting the chatbot at one of its Ohio stores. Moving on to sports now. Kolkata Knight Riders will take on Rajasthan Royals at Kolkata's Eden Gardens on Thursday. KKR are coming off a thrilling win against PBKS and are in the hunt for playoffs. On the other hand, RR are coming off an agonizing loss against SRH and are in a must-win situation against the resurgent KKR. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. IST. Indian cricket team opener KL Rahul has undergone a successful surgery on his right thigh. Following the surgery, Rahul has been ruled out from the rest of this year's IPL and the upcoming World Test Championship final. The 31-year-old got injured while fielding during an IPL match. The All India Senior Selection Committee has named Ishan Kishan as Rahul's replacement in the WTC final squad. England fast bowler Jofra Archer is a doubt for the Ashes. The news comes after he was ruled out for the remainder of this season's IPL due to a nagging elbow injury on Tuesday. Archer will return home this week and begin his rehab with the ECB medical department and his country team Sussex. The Ashes series against Australia begins at Edgbaston on June 16th. Five-time Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo is looking to return to Real Madrid months after joining Saudi club Al Nassr. Spanish media says Real Madrid are willing to offer Ronaldo a non-playing role as an ambassador. Ronaldo's partner, Georgina Rodriguez, is also said to be yearning for a return to the Spanish capital where the couple met. Saudi soccer fans are excited at the possibility that Argentina's Lionel Messi might join local club Al Hilal. Messi's future at PSG has been the subject of much speculation in recent days. This is after the Liga side suspended him for making a trip to Saudi Arabia and missing a training session as a result. Meanwhile, French media is reporting that Messi's move to Saudi Arabia is a quote-unquote done deal. Holders Real Madrid and Manchester City draw 1-1 in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final in Madrid late Tuesday evening. Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne powered home a rasping low shot from the distance in the 67th minute to earn his side a 1-1 draw. Earlier, Vinicius Jr. netted a brilliant curling strike from the edge of the area that flew into the top right corner in the 36th minute. The second leg will be played on May 17th. Formula One racers Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly have spoken out amid the mounting pressure from Alpine's CEO. The Alpine F1 team has recently faced mounting pressure from CEO Laurent Rossi following a lackluster start to the 2023 season. The team has only scored points in 3 of the first 5 races. It's currently sitting in 6th place behind McLaren. FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayman has said that he'd held talks with Twitter's Elon Musk to combat the rise in abusive online behavior towards F1 figures. The South African-born businessman was a guest at this weekend's race in Miami, which was won in superb style by Max Verstappen. F1 has been attempting to stamp out bad behavior online over the past year. It has also launched a campaign in 2022 aimed at tackling the issues with social media networks. 43-year-old Eric Lira has become the first individual to be charged under America's Rodchenkov Act. It's a federal law that allows criminal charges against doping conspirators at events involving US athletes, broadcasters and sponsors. Lira had previously pleaded not guilty. He could face as much as 10 years in prison, but would likely get less under his plea agreement. The mast broke on one of the boats competing in the ocean race on Tuesday. Several gales over 45 knots hit the fleet. Team Europe dismasted in the North Atlantic, Rhode Island, just over 600 miles east of Newport. They were the second crew to dismast in leg 4 of the ocean race. Team Halcyon PRB, which won the first 2 legs, were forced to retire after their mast broke earlier in the leg. Paramount Pictures' Transformers film franchise has switched gears in its latest installment. It's adding more diversity to its lead roles. The film is the 7th installment in the series based on popular Hasbro toys and is a sequel to the movie Bumblebee. The film arrives in theaters worldwide on June 9th. Pedro Pascal will star in the show Weapons by New Lines, and this is from the filmmakers behind 2022's critically acclaimed breakout hit Barbarian. New Line picked up the project earlier this year after an intense bidding war. The project is from writer-director Zach Kreger, who will also produce alongside his Barbarian producing team. Pascal is hot off the success of the highest-rated HBO series ever, The Last of Us. He's also off the success of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. A quote-unquote Rust medic was awarded $1.15 million in a partial settlement after the death of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The medic accused members of the crew of being negligent, leading to the death of Hutchins. Hutchins was killed on the set of the movie Rust in October 2021 after a gun Alec Baldwin was holding fired. Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter, but prosecutors dropped the charges in April. Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, which premiered on May 4th, has racked up 150 million hours of viewing worldwide in 4 days on Netflix. The show has also reached the top 10 in 91 countries and ranked number 1 in 76 of those. India, Amara Tefio and Corey Milchreist star as Queen Charlotte and King George III. Comedy thriller The Outlaws will be back for a 3rd season. Prime Video and BBC One have announced the renewal of the series from Stephen Merchant and co-creator Elgin James. The show follows a group of strangers from different walks of life forced together to complete a community payback sentence in Bristol. The 3rd season will be available in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand and Nordic countries. Country singer Dolly Parton has announced the release date for her first ever rock album titled Rockstar. The sprawling 30-track album features a slew of all-star collaborations. It features artists including Sir Elton John, Sting, Sir Paul McCartney and Sir Ringo Starr. The album is due for release on the 17th of November. Pop band Imagine Dragons have shown their support for the Writers Guild of America. The pop band's lead singer and guitarist offered free entertainment outside Netflix's LA headquarters to support the striking writers. Equipped with the guitar, speakers, microphones, the duo delivered some of their band's hit songs, including Radioactive and Whatever It Takes. Princess Diana's iconic Swan Lake suit necklace is set to hit a New York auction block on June 27th. The diamond and pearl necklace was worn by Diana at her final public appearance in 1997. It was a gala opening for Swan Lake at London's Royal Albert Hall. According to auctioneers, the necklace is likely to attract bids of over $10 million. 79-year-old famed actor Robert De Niro has revealed he has welcomed his 7th child. The 79-year-old Oscar winner opened up about parenthood while promoting his upcoming movie, About My Father. Quite interestingly, the Godfather actor is also a grandfather. De Niro said that the best part of being a parent or grandparent is pushing their kids to reach for their dreams. A California judge has thrown out key sections of Marilyn Manson's lawsuit against his former fiancée, the actor Evan Rachel Wood. Manson had alleged she fabricated public allegations that he sexually and physically abused her during their relationship. Several women have sued Manson in recent years with allegations of sexual and other abuse. Most suits have been dismissed or settled, including a suit filed by Game of Thrones actor Esme Bianco. That's all for this edition of Fast and Factual. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.